right
ask you this: whose legacy would benefit more from a ring? Chris Paul, James Harden, or Russell Westbrook?
That's easy. Chris
Russell
Paul.
Westbrook. It's Russell Westbrook.
You think so?
It's Russell Westbrook.
That's easy, Chris Paul.
Easily. Yes, easily Russell, bro. Because this is the thing with
He
Russell,
got an MVP.
Bro. It doesn't matter. He got the MVP, but now they're talking about he this coach killer. He been moving team to team. Bro, he been on 4 or 5 teams in literally the past 4 years. That ain't good, bro, if you go into a new team every year. That ain't good unless you a journeyman. But you're a star player and you're going to a different team every year. That don't look good. And let's just hypothetically say they win. And he plays a role. That's gonna help his legacy a lot that he's not this bad player. Because everybody was talking about, Westbrook making the Lakers bad, even though it really wasn't him. It was just the whole team was just bad. The team was just bad. It wasn't just him. But it helps him. I wouldn't say Chris Paul because I feel like Chris Paul has established himself as like this top player in the league. He's like one of the best point guards to ever touch a basketball.
That's it. That's all you can say. You can't and he got all-stars and everything like that. That's it. He ain't got no kind of hardware. No hardware to show for his career whatsoever.
He was on team defense as well.
You get a trophy for that?
Hell no.
You have no hardware in your trophy room. Y'all remember them? Y'all remember that year that the All-Star game had the jackets with the patches? That's all you got. You got your All-Star jacket hanging up in that motherfucker with the package. With the patches on there. That's all you got. Chris Paul needs something, some kind of hardware to establish his legacy, honestly. Granted, he has a Hall of Fame guarantee already, but man, when you got that hardware, it just hit different. And James Harden got MVP, Westbrook got MVP. They got something that they're gonna hold up. Chris Paul, like I said, Chris Paul just got them patches he gonna wear on that jacket.
For me, it's easy. It's Harden. That's been the one knock against him is his playoff performances. If he wins a title, it validates everything that you see when you watch him play is that he might be the third greatest shooting guard to ever play the game. If he were to win the title, he was to make an impact and play 90% of how he is supposed to play. I think he has a chance, potentially, in some people's eyes, to solidify himself as the third greatest shooting guard to ever play. If he were to win the title.
That's a good debate.
That's
a good debate right there.
I'm telling you, don't sleep on him overtaking D-Wade as the third greatest shooting guard ever if he wins the title. And he actually contributes and plays that second option to Joel. If he averages a 20-point double-double for the whole finals.
And you know what? I take that back what I said because D-Wade played some defense.
I understand that. I understand that. But if you just look from the eye test, some people might say Harden was more dominant than D-Wade, especially like his offense was just so crazy that you put him over D-Wade.
I mean, no real basketball people gonna know that D-Wade was a efficient, was a scary scorer, and he was not a defensive liability. He was gonna lock your ass up. But like I get what you're saying.
Let him finish so I can get to my turn, Ace. Let him finish.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying it's not always about just a two-way impact because if that's the case, do you put D-Wade over Steph? Steph is nowhere near in the same league as D-Wade as far as defense, and D-Wade got 3 titles. So why wouldn't you put D-Wade over Steph?
D-Wade not no point guard though.
He's a shooting guard.
We talking about two. We talking about two guards.
I understand that, but still,
he played positionless basketball. Aaron played positionless basketball.
But no, I wouldn't. then no, I wouldn't put D-Wade over Steph.
That's my point. Depending on the situation, if a player's offense is just that extraordinary, you can put them over a two-way player. Depending on the player.
Okay. I think when I think about whose legacy needs to ring the most, I think it is going to be Chris Paul for the reasons of just the simple fact of what Spencer Dinwiddie said not long ago. He just talked about how we only talk about Jordan, LeBron, Shaq, Kobe. And we only talk about Shaq because he's on TNT. I think when we look back, we ain't really We're not gonna bring up all that bullshit that happened with Westbrook. We're not gonna be like stat pad. We're gonna be like he was a triple double machine. He was MVP. He was this. He was that. We're gonna bring up James Harden. We're gonna be like, man, he changed with the step back. We're gonna bring up foul baiting. We're gonna bring up James Harden was the reason like we had to change the rules. It was so egregious watching him foul bait. We're gonna bring that up. We're gonna bring up how he disappeared in the playoffs. We're not gonna bring up shit like, oh, Westbrook chemistry, and we're not gonna bring that stuff up because we simply don't bring up players like them that often. When we do, we're gonna bring up the triple double, the MVP. We're gonna bring up Harden, his scoring, ISO, but he ain't gonna really be no top shooting guard. We don't bring him up like that. We're gonna bring up Chris Paul because Chris Paul is the point guard. That's his nickname. He is one of the most efficient point guards to ever play basketball. And the point guard job team is to facilitate and help other teammates. To have a ring says that I did my job at the highest of the highest level. Chris Paul doesn't need the ring, but it helps his career more because those two guys already have MVPs. Chris Paul doesn't need the ring, but it solidifies his career more than those two having it. Russell Westbrook getting the ring is going to be like, damn, he couldn't do it with OKC. James Harden getting the ring, damn, he couldn't do it with Houston.
I can't be no Charles Barkley ass dude, bro.
Damn, he couldn't do it with OKC. He couldn't do it without
Chris Paul couldn't do it with the Clippers.
He couldn't do it for Houston.
And they had a stacked team. It's the same thing.
You know what?
It don't matter.
It
don't matter because he didn't make a superstar team with the Suns. He didn't make it. He went to the worst team in the league with the Suns, and look where they went to the next year. He did that. He became the 1B in the system where they were getting blew out winning 12 games a season.
It doesn't matter though. They lost. Who cares?
And what you just said about Trae Young on his record?
Okay, but I can say
finals. But wait a minute. Hold on. But on his record though, don't it say 0-1 in the finals?
He got there.
Okay, Harden.
Why would I want to get there and lose?
That means listen. No. When you do that, you got to think about sports though. You can when you lose in the Super Bowl and you lose in the finals, you still celebrate the greatness of what you did. There's still some joy in second place.
You giving out participation trophies.
No one wants to, but somebody got to come in second. You still got to celebrate what
now
you
you talking about more.
He got
no.
So
he's talking about moral victory,
even though they lost.
You celebrate what you do. You're not gonna just say, "Damn, I was a waste." You celebrate what you do. They got to the finals. They led the game. Damn, I go there.
But the thing is, though, we're still gonna praise Chris Paul because he always go to these teams and they be better. But in my head, I always say he still ain't done nothing. What has Chris Paul actually done? We say Westbrook won an MVP. We say James Harden has won an MVP. But what has Chris Paul actually done?
He made David West an all-star. He made Lob City.
And they ain't done nothing.
If Chris Paul not in Lob City, you would never talk about Blake Griffin being in Space Jam. What has James Harden done besides lose to Steph Curry for the
You say he won an MVP.
No, listen. You gotta let me finish. James Harden lost to Steph Curry in the MVP over and over again. Lost to him in the playoffs. Disappeared. Chris Paul has done more for a team than James Harden has ever done.
James Harden lost to arguably the greatest team ever and pushed them to what, game 7?
And
no, he didn't beat the KD Warriors. That's who Harden had to go against twice.
Bro, when was Chris Paul in MVP conversations?
Always.
Never. What has Chris Paul done in the playoffs as the number one option?
When he was with Charlotte, he was up there.
How far did he take his team as the number one option?
Never been in Charlotte.
What was the fucking the Hornet, the New Orleans
Harden took his team to the conference finals as the number one option. What did Chris Paul do as the number one option? Not with the Suns.
What he averaged when he went to them conference finals?
He's only been to 2 conference.
No. James Harden. I'm not Aaron. Mr. Glasses, Mr. Bifocals, with your fancy, nice college degree, since you know everything. What did James Harden average in the conference finals?
You didn't answer my question first. You answered my question with a question.
No, your glasses reflect.
You answered my question with a question.
What did James Harden average in the conference?
How far has Chris Paul gotten as the number one option? How far did he take his team as the
finals.
number one
The
option?
finals. Yeah.
He was not the number one option on that Suns.
1A, 1B, 1A, 1B, 100%. He was 1B. He was 1B. Chris Paul was 1B with the damn Suns, and you know that because it was Chris Paul or it was Book. And then
he said Chris Paul got to pass Devin Booker the ball. He said,
"Be serious." He was 1B. He was 1B.
No, he was the second option.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't. Chris Paul was 1B. 1B, 1A.
Oh. Okay.
Damn it.
Bro, he's saying, how you think Devin Booker got the ball in his hands?
Come on.
He said Chris Paul put it in his hands.
Put it in the basket.
I always say, look, Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards, but that
I'm
man
not
ain't
gonna
done
say
nothing.
all that.
He ain't
What
done
a ring going? What is a ring going to do for his career? That's a team achievement. What's the point guard's job?
If he gets a ring, he's still gonna probably be a top 5 point guard.
It says what you said. I did my job at the highest level. But he don't have a ring. He has nothing else.
He needs the ring the most before them. They got MVP. They don't need
I got a question.
We're not going to ever bring up James Harden again.
I got a question. If he doesn't win a ring, is he still going to be in the conversation, the top 5 point guard?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he wins a ring. If he wins a ring, he's still going to be number 5. He still ain't going to pass Curry. He still ain't going to pass Magic. He probably won't pass John Stockton.
Let me ask you this, Sheldon. If James Harden gets a ring, what does that really do? Do we talk about him different afterwards?
You said
if James Harden get a ring, do we talk about him different afterwards?
Yes, because that was his one thing.
We gonna say he should have had more. We gonna
say James Harden was putting up Wilt Chamberlain type numbers. He had 30 plus games, scoring 30 plus points. Who else has done that? That's all he's missing is a ring. That's literally, and especially if he plays well.
Like, I'm just saying, if Chris Paul wins a ring, he's not going to jump up to number 2. But if he doesn't, he's still just going to stay where he is.
If James Harden wins, the only 2 people you could potentially put over him as far as his position is Kobe and Mike. No, that's what I said. It's an argument between him and D-Wade for number 3 if he wins a title. And he plays 90. If he plays like he can play a majority of the time.
It's still going to be.
We will argue that, but it'll clearly still be D-Wade.
It'll still be. He did it for the team that drafted him. If he did it for Houston, it'll mean something. But when you see D-Wade, you think Miami. You think this my house. You hear James Harden, you think, damn, where can I go? Who can I pair up with? It ain't working with Ben and KD. Let me get out of here. It ain't working over here. I need a trade. My hamstring hurt.
I mean, then we could say the same thing about KD then. That means basically it doesn't matter for him.
We got to asterisk next to his ring. We know Giannis 1 ring mean more than KD 2 rings. That's how I value it. Sometimes 1. That's the same shit. Motherfucking James Harden getting a ring with Joel. I used to want him to be MVP for real. But when I seen that man, I couldn't do with all that foul baiting. When James Harden retire, we ain't gonna bring him up in 5 years. We ain't gonna bring him up after that 5 years he gone. We ain't gonna never bring.
Why do you bring up foul baiting so much?
Because it was egregious. They literally had to change rules because it was so lame.
You know what's crazy? They still go. Joel still goes to the line 10 plus times, so it doesn't matter. It looks like to me it doesn't change.
Hey, look, I feel like Chris Paul really started the foul baiting, honestly, if we're gonna say that. But
all I'm saying is
with the rip through shot.
Like Ace said earlier, does it boost him? Yes, but it's like even if he doesn't win, we're still gonna say he's a top 5 point guard. At least what I'm saying with Westbrook is gonna get the narrative off of Westbrook saying like he's just this bad guy and he can't help teams win. But let's say if the Clippers do win, the narrative is gonna be off him like, yeah, this man is good. He can help teams win. That's what I'm saying.
This what's gonna happen. He gonna win the ring. Let's say the Clippers win the ring this summer. They get a chip. the narrative is gonna start all over next season with Westbrook. It's gonna just start all over again.
Yeah, I don't think a ring affects Westbrook because he's going to be known for the triple-double. Him getting a ring really doesn't matter.
He don't need a ring. The narrative
So that's what I'm saying.
over. He missed the triple-double Westbrook.
Hey, let me.
But why does Chris Paul need a ring though? Why
Because
does
he's a point guard. That means my
And-
logic is that he's
Just
going to
because
job
he's a
at the
point guard,
highest.
And let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. Give me your top 5 point guards all time.
Magic, Steph. You could put Jason Kidd in there. I got Chris Paul, and then you can argue with Isaiah.
Yeah,
you can,
Okay.
you can put them in there.
So just from that list right there, we're gonna go. Magic got rings. Who else you said? You said Magic got rings. Steph got rings. Isaiah got rings. Does Jason Kidd have a ring?
Yeah.
He got
Yes,
one.
yeah.
Jason Kidd has a ring. So out of your top 5 point guards, there's only one right there that doesn't have a ring.
But does it move him up though?
It probably not move him up the ladder of or who's the greatest point guard. But when you list all these point guards, all these great point guards, your top 5, all of them have the one thing that they have in common is they all have championships. They all can say, like Shondell said, I've done my job at the highest level. Me as a point guard, I've helped my team get to this part, win this championship. Chris Paul can't say that.
You like my logic. You like my logic, don't you, Ace? You think the way I framed it. You like the way I framed it.
Why do we keep bringing him up then? We keep saying Chris Paul is this top 5 point guard, and he has nothing.
Wait.
No, that just shows like he needs that.
And you say he has nothing.
I said I'm going to put him at like number 5. It's between like him and John Stockton or like Jason Kidd.
How is he in your top 5, but you say he does nothing?
I think Chris Paul is just a better player than John Stockton. That's all. I'm just thinking he's a better player, a better scorer, probably not a better passer than John Stockton. Well, you can argue it. I think he's a better player than Jason Kidd. I think he's a better player.
Jason Kidd still got him on an all-time assist list, right? Or did he pass him this season?
No, Kidd is number 2, I think.
I think Chris Paul I think he passes him next season, right? That's because that's the only thing I could think of why people don't put Chris Paul over Jason Kidd is because Chris Paul hasn't passed him on an all-time assist list. That's the last thing. He's not going to catch John Stockton, but he's going to catch Jason Kidd. I think he passed Steve Nash already too.
Yeah, I would put Chris Paul
even
over
at the same time.
Jason
Like
Kidd.
I really wouldn't even put him above Steve Nash because Steve Nash got MVPs too.
He catches Jason Kidd next season. He'll catch Jason Kidd next season. Jason Kidd is at 12,091.
That goes back to when we was talking about rings. Sometimes hardware doesn't make you just this better player. I feel like that doesn't make you a better player. Like, bro, if I had to choose between Chris Paul and Steve Nash, I'm gonna take Chris Paul.
LeBron James,
but we're not talking about like average players though. We talking about these top players though. We're not talking about role players or people that take back seats.
Chris Paul, in my opinion, is better than Steve Nash. He's better than him. Just because
Steve Nash Kidd to me. Chris Paul is.
I put him above Jason Kidd.
He's better than Jason Kidd. To me, Chris Paul is better than Jason Kidd.
It's not going to be unanimous until he passes him on this list. It's not going to be unanimous.
I'm just saying he's just a better player. And that's why I put him in my top 5. I think I put him at 4 or 5, whatever. But that just shows how good he is. And we're still going to say at the end of the day, yeah, Chris Paul ain't win this ring, but he's still one of the best point guards ever. But it's not like it's just gonna catapult him all the way to number 3. No, it won't.
I get what you're saying.
It's just like you this good, but you can't. Yeah. You ain't got no hardware.
I get what you're saying. It's just saying like Chris Paul don't even need a ring. He is who he is. He don't need a ring.
No,
I get what you're saying, Sheldon.
Chris Paul needs some kind of hardware. You can't be this good as he putting them with no hardware.
No, yeah, you can because look at Charles Barkley. Look at Karl Malone. They were that good. They were better than Chris Paul. They ain't got no rings.
Karl Malone has MVPs.
I know, but
Karl Malone has MVPs. I believe. I don't think Charles has one, but
yeah, he got one.
I say Charles is trash though. I don't put Charles up there. Charles didn't win nothing.
He just came close, but he just came to second.
Charles Barkley has an MVP.
He do?
Yeah, he won.
So then he has hardware. Chris Paul ain't got no hardware. He
Nah,
needs.
Charles
I'm just
Barkley
saying,
one of the best small forwards to
he
ever play.
needs something. You said Charles Barkley one of the best. Who?
Small forwards to ever play. Small forward.
Charles Barkley was a power forward.
Yeah, power forward.
It affects Harden's legacy more because Harden is arguably at the top of the list of best player to never win a ring. Winning a ring takes him out of that category and puts him in the pantheon of greats. So that's just my opinion, though.
Man, look, man.
Hey, well, all three of them is in that same list. Is in that same category. Westbrook and Harden is a little bit above. Is above Chris Paul in my book. Just solely because they got hardware. They got shit to show for their careers.
Does Melo need a ring? Does he need hardware? Because he one of the greatest small forwards ever.
Yeah, I've always said Melo need a ring.
Get a ring, honestly. If he get a ring, it's gonna be like
he's never going to win a ring, but it's like he's still one of the greatest small forwards ever.
A ring wouldn't affect him because it would be as a role player, a legit role player.
Yeah.
It's different.
And now Chris Paul is a role player.
He's not a role player. No, he's still not a role player. You make it seem like he Gary Payton on the Heat.
He's the fourth best player. He's the fourth best player. Now, would I say he's the second most or the third most important player on the team? I would say that. But when we going off of those Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton,
Sheldon, you doing that thing. Yes, someone is the better player, but you can still play better than someone that's better than you as a player. Chris Paul, the way he's playing set up in that ecosystem, he's flourishing. You just simply can't put him that low. You have to respect the ability of what he does. Without Chris Paul on that team, are they still a threat? I know we put a lot.
And that's when I said he's the most. That's why I said second most important player. I'm just going off of the better. I'm going off of who are the better players. Goes Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, then him. Now, when we go to important, it goes Kevin Durant. If you want to say Chris Paul, cool with that. Devin Booker, then DeAndre Ayton. That's what I'm saying. You can say Patrick Beverly is the most important player on the Bulls, but he ain't nowhere near the best. Right?
I would say
I think he's the most important player on the Bulls.
I think the word leader.
I remember Shondell said they brought Patrick Beverly, to the Bulls for this toughness, leadership, bro. And look where they at. They could potentially go to the playoffs. So you can arguably say he's the most important player on the team. You can argue it, or the second most.
Heart of the team. I'm the heart of the team. With Draymond got suspended game 6. Heart of the team. That's what people be saying. They be like, he the most important. He the heart of the team.
He is the heart of the team. They probably don't win some of them championships.
They won 15 games that season when all they had was their heart.
He's probably the most important player on the team.
Curry.
People say that if Draymond played, Draymond the reason why they don't play because the heart of the team wasn't there.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah,